Mrs. Brownlow do the garden again.
Oh, great. Do you fancy a glass of pop?
Yeah, please. Where's Miss Sharon?
She's in bed with a headache, so we better keep our voices down, OK?
Everybody's telling me to be quiet today and shut up. Like Terry. Suppose you know where he is?
Yes, I do. He's wormed his way into Kath Brownlow's. She must be mad.
What's he up to?
Up to?
Well, there's something wrong, I can tell her. I mean, he was different. Frightened, like.
Yeah, well, you know what, Terry's always mucking about. You know what he's like.
Oh, he's something more than that. It was like he was scared. He said something about somebody trying to kill him.
Yeah, there's every chance of that, me.
I'm not joking.
Will you shut up? Keep your voice down.
Well, he said that you know all about it and I were to ask you. So I'm just asking.
All right, Benny, like he says, he's in dead trouble.
Who with?
Never mind. It's got nothing to do with you. He shouldn't have told you.
He's brought you a right load of trouble again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in a spot of bother.
Who is it?
Benny, I've told you. I don't want you talking about it. Will you just forget you saw him, please? For me. If you can.
Shall I inquire of Mrs. Hunter, then?
No, I wouldn't do that. She's busy tapping out little purple passage. She won't thank you for the interruption.
Perhaps a tray left discreetly outside the door. A technique employed by Handel's wife when he was knee-deep in oratorios.
To go cold.
Well, that seemed to be the general idea.
Hello. Yes, this is David Hunter here, Crossroads Motel. I wanted to speak to Oliver Banks. Could you tell me how long you expect him to be away? Yeah, well, if you speak to him in the meantime, would you tell him that I want to get in touch and I'll speak to him on his return? Thank you. Bye.
And you're not expecting Mrs. Harvey back tonight?
Oh, I don't think so. Why?
Well, I had some free time earlier today, made up some sample menus for the
I'll
reception.
leave them on the desk.
Fine. And shall I keep your table in the restaurant?
No, it's hardly worth it.
Well, we're very booked up, so if you...
Oh, let it go. And if Barbara struggles in, exhausted from her labours, I'll phone the kitchen. They can make up a tray.
Well, it's 45 minutes to last all this time,
If
so
I have to go to the kitchen myself and rustle up a little croque monsieur, the lady shall not starve.
I'm relieved to hear that, Mr. Hunter.
Rest assured, Mr. Ball.
I should stick with Benny, you know. I would if I had any guts. But I'm tired of moving about. Just lazy, I guess.
Well, you don't both want to get slung out, I tell you that. Mrs. Price's lodgers have taken up all the room round here. Maeve could fill this place twice over with anybody. Look at Wally.
Hey, just a minute. I'm not anybody.
Well, you said it, mate. By the way, anyone of you seen Mavis's watch hanging about?
Well, she lost it, then?
Well, she's mislaid it. She's in a right old spin. Hope she finds it soon.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with Benny.
Her temper, mate, has got everything to do with Benny at the moment, she is.
I'll be glad when he's out of this house and I don't have to hear his name 20 times a day. Where is he?
He's over at Kath Brownlow's helping her with the garden.
Good of him.
See? He could be really useful.
He's going.
She's got this idea that Benny brings bad luck to his landladies, or for his landladies.
Is that true?
Nonsense. It's just something about him.
Look, Maeve, anybody could have found her, you know.
Woman's intuition, Mac. Put all your money on woman's intuition.
Yeah, well, what about Benny's intuition, then?
That's it, isn't it? That's the point. He's changed. Used to be an outgoing lad.
Now, with respect, Maeve, I think you're a little bit to blame there, you know.
Me?
Yeah, well, Benny's shy. I mean, he needs a lot of encouragement to come out of himself.
Heaven forbid he should come out of himself if this is what he's like in himself. These things he does or claims to do. I can't sleep.
Now, Benny has never claimed anything. He doesn't even talk about it.
I heard in the village.
It's gossip, isn't it?
Don't you see it in his eyes? It wasn't there before. Like he can see right through you. If you won't tell him, I will.
Oh, well, suit yourself.
I thought it'd be easier for him coming from you, especially as you said he could stay.
If it wasn't my place to say he could stay, it's not my place to say he can't.
I'm not afraid of him.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Benny.
I'll pour you a cuppa. It's not very hot.
Oh, don't matter none.
Well, I think I'll make an early night of it, lads.
Very well.
Good night, Wally.
Good
Night,
night,
Mr. Soper.
See you, Wally.
Thanks.
Wonder for him not to hang around for the kill.
I want you to know...
Yeah?
You have a week from tonight, but I want you to move on.
Where?
Wherever you fancy. It's no concern to me.
But Mr. Hooper, he said...
Mr. Hooper spoke for himself.
I ain't leaving.
I said you had a week's notice, and all the wheedling won't get you an hour more.
I ain't leaving in a week either. Look, you don't understand. I can see something.
What?
I can't tell you. I don't really know yet, but I can see something.
Seeing things. You see? If I believed it, or if I believed any of his rubbish, it'd chill me to the bone. Why don't you tell me where my watch is if you're so clever? If you think you can see things, see that. Well?
It ain't no trick, Mrs. Hooper.
There. What use is it having a psychic in the house if he can't even find a watch? You talk sense to him. You tell him. If I say he has to go, he has to go.
I'm sorry, Betty, son.
I ain't leaving.
Well, it's the best way. After all, it is her house. Listen, Mac, you and I look around and find another
You
place.
don't have to. I ain't leaving. And it's no good you telling me I've got to go. Because I'm staying.
You're down early.
I just wanted to have a word, Maeve.
More words with you the last week than in the last year. Did you or didn't you tell him to go?
Well, it wasn't as easy as that.
I knew it wasn't easy. I said it wasn't easy. You saw it wasn't easy. That's why I asked you to help for once.
Well, he's got this feeling, see?
Feeling.
You know, about not going.
Feelings. I'll not have no one in my house with feelings.
Well, I tell you one thing, he's going to take a bit of shifting, I tell you that.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Good, thank
Cheerio.
you. Cheerio.
Made me jump.
Hello, precious. Henderson's the name. Used cars, a speciality. You know, a decent motor's within the reach of every hard-working, attractive...
Pregnant.
Hey? Oh, my card.
Don't think I'd get behind the wheel of a car, never mind. Ah, I think you want the garage.
Oh, no, I'm not selling. I was on the blower earlier, looking for a room.
What, a chalet?
Well, anything Desi here can get his beauty sleep. See what I mean?
How'd you do? Oh, blimey. He's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Yeah, chalet 23.
Oh, my lucky number.
There you are. And if your friend would just fill in this for me.
No, I think I'd better take care of that. Des was out the day we done joined up writing. Get the bags, will you, Des?
Oh, yeah, it's across the car park, block on the left, second chalet. And if there's anything you need, if you
Well, as
just...
a matter of fact, there is, now you come to mention it. I need to contact a Mrs. Diane Hunter. She has a position of some importance here, I believe.
Diane? Yes, it's her day off, actually. She'll be in tomorrow. I can give her a message if you like.
Oh, well, it's so long since I've clapped eyes on her. I thought perhaps after we'd unpacked our toothbrushes and our teddies, we might...
I think she said something about washing her hair.
We're old mates, you know, me and I. I did have her address, but Desi's handwriting, like I said, it's it's worse than mine. You know.
Oh, right, don't worry. Well, she lives in Castlewyche, but it's a bit complicated to explain, really. I think I better draw you a little map.
Ah, now you're talking. Des likes pictures. He's driving, you see.
Oh, Mrs. Hunter. For you.
Ah, at last.
Mrs. Hunter?
Oh, it's all right, there are two. So, we're here, right? So if you go down here, first on the right...
Well, I tried to contact Oliver Banks, but apparently he's off on some kind of second honeymoon or other.
Lucky man.
Yeah, he's a reasonable enough sort of chap. We should get a deal. Put in a low bid, haggle, meet in the middle. Should be okay. No, it can hang fire. Yeah, but I want to pin him down as soon as possible because we don't want anybody else nipping in.
Wouldn't think he does on his second honeymoon.
Yeah, oh, right, fine. I'll be in touch. Bye. You know, I marvel at your virtuosity.
My what?
Wrestling with immortality on the printed page, and then rushing in here to cater to my every whim.
Well, just wait until you hear the main reason for my visit.
Bribery?
Wouldn't dream of it.
Cajolery?
Wouldn't dare.
Enlighten me.
Interrogation.
Ah.
Have you ever thought about becoming a tramp?
Is that an offer?
Well, have you?
No.
What? Never? Not even in your wildest dreams?
Not never.
Oh.
Am I missing out on something?
Well, people have. All sorts of people.
Not seriously.
W.H. Davis did. He was a super tramp.
He was a poet with an urge to wander. I get the feeling I'm giving you the wrong answers.
Well, you're not exactly helping.
Is to do with the work in progress?
It might be.
I thought you were writing about a peer of the realm, no less.
I am.
Prince and the Pauper parallel.
Stop reading my mind.
I'll do better than that. I'll stop reading your books. So will everyone else, if you ask me.
Well, is it so preposterous?
Absolutely.
Grapefruit and prawn salad, avocado mousse, Roquefort cream quiche, poached salmon kedgeree, marinated beef brochette, poulet à la crème, chocolate kirsch mold, and strawberry sorbet. Silly Bob, has the chef gone mad? Are we on the up and up?
Oh, just a little something we're knocking up in case a gentleman of the road calls at the kitchen begging for a morsel.
Fool.
Excuse me. David, there's been a complaint.
Why can't you deal with it?
Nothing to do with the restaurant, it's to do with the car park.
Oh?
One of our guests was being guided out of his parking space by the incomparable Mr. Walter Soper, who, mistaking his left for his right, if ever he knew the difference, guided him into a bollard.
Are they still there?
Yes, and they are likely to come to blows if left to their own devices.
Oh,
Yes.
This sounds superb.
Thank you.
I don't suppose there's any chance of sampling any tonight.
None whatsoever.
Oh, what a pity.
As I understood it, you were reluctant to abandon your creativity just because you were hungry. May I suggest that you coax Mr. Hunter into tempting you with his croque monsieur again?
Croque monsieur?
That's what I made for you last night.
Oh, that's what you call it. Why don't we just stick to calling it cheese on toast? It's so much easier to refuse.
Okay, hang about. Flipping it.
Mrs. Hunter, Mark II.
Yeah? Who wants her?
We got a funny feeling you might be Terry Skin and Blister. And if you are, you'll know very well what we're here about.
You?
You are. I can tell.
Now listen to me. You can't just come in here like this.
Where is the little toe rag?
Well, like you can see, he's not here. So if you don't mind, you and your friend get out.
Little look around, eh, Des? Just make sure he ain't obvious.
I've told you, he's
Oh,
not
and,
in here.
by the way, don't break nothing. Not yet.
I've said he's not here, haven't I?
Look, you're his sister. He's your brother. Now, blood's thicker than water, as you're about to find out.
Look, you've got no right to barge in here at all.
No, you're quite right, we haven't. Des, have a look in the bedrooms, will you?
Now, just a minute.
Look, if you've got
Just a
nothing
minute,
to hide,
it's private
Des,
in there.
if you've got nothing to hide...
I told you on the phone I hadn't, didn't I? And he's too busy trying to frighten me.
Look, Precious, we don't frighten.
Are you satisfied, then?
Look, we've got no hassle with you. We know you ain't the well-stacked Mrs. Hunter Terry says you are.
Right. So if you don't mind...
On the other hand, I don't mean to say you ain't worth a few bob, does it? You got a nice flat.
Now, what the hell's it got to do with you, eh?
20 grand merits quite a bit of interest, I'd say, wouldn't
Then
you?
you better talk to Terry, hadn't you?
Oh, I will, when I see him. He'll talk to me. With Desi's molars around his throat, his little feet ain't going to touch the ground. Now, look, this little account's got to be settled. You see, we thought you was helping him out. Sort of holding him up, you know what I mean?
No, thank you. He's got too many nice visitors.
Look, don't come that with me. Look, I know you ain't going to tell me where he is. That won't stop me hanging about till he stinks himself out, is it? And he will.
Well, look, if I see him,
Oh, you will. And when you do, you tell him Bert likes nice, clean business. He likes a clean-cut payoff, all right? We don't mess about. We talk to people in language they can understand. Do you understand?
You're hurting
and
my
we tell
arm.
them once.
You're hurting me.
Is that all? You tell him to get in touch, darling. Maybe start looking up his policies. All right?
If you ask me, Mr. Hunter, it had one over the 8.
Then perhaps it's fortunate I asked Mr. Paul, who assures me the gentleman had nothing whatsoever to drink either before, during, or after the meal.
Poor fella.
What?
Well, I mean, if he's like that when he's sober, you know, I mean, and he could have been a bit deaf, too.
No.
Well, he didn't follow my instructions. That was his trouble, you see. You haven't got a spare cup of tea going begging, have you there, madam?
Oh, yes, it might be a bit cold.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's just to wet me whistle, you know. Aye, that's it. I've got it now.
What exactly?
Me tubes.
Your what?
Me tubes was playing me up, you see. Touch of the wheezes. Just 2 lumps, if you don't mind, madam. Thanks. Aye, that was it. I remember now. I said, right hand down, back a bit, hard. And then it struck me. It hit me then. The bronchos, you know. And before I had a chance to say left hand down, I had this fit of coughing. Dreadful, and my eyes filled with tears.
As he was none too pleased either.
No, what I mean to say, he had 2 mirrors on his car and a pair of eyes in his head. I was doing him a favour, really.
Well, I've told him you are not officially employed by the motel, so any proceedings will have to be taken up with you personally.
Proceedings?
His bumper was dented, and his rear light indicator shattered.
Struth.
Now, these things come expensive these days. Now, I hope he doesn't take action, but if he does, it's down to you.
Wally, have you ever thought about becoming a tramp?
Oh, it'll not come to that, madam. Will it?
Who is it?
It's Diane.
Am I glad to see you?
Oh, you told me to come round. You all right?
Listen, have you seen Terry?
Oh, no, and I don't want to either.
Well, some friends of his have been round to see him.
Oh, what's wrong with 2 people come see?
Nothing, you don't understand. They're just not very nice people, Benny.
Oh, you mean like Terry?
Yeah, listen, they wanted to see him, right? They wanted to see him really badly, and when they asked me where he was, I said I didn't know. I just couldn't put 2 blokes like that onto him. I just couldn't.
They didn't hurt you, did they?
No, but they're coming back, Benny. They think he lives here.
Yeah, well, I'll be waiting.
No, it's no good. You won't be able to do anything. The one was built like a barn door.
Well, that don't worry me.
But they don't care about people. If they've got to hurt people, they'll do anything.
Well, I'm not scared.
I am, Benny. I am.
You're really frightened, aren't you?
I'm frightened to flipping death.